The Dilemma of a Ghost is a one-act play by Ghanaian writer Ama-Ata Aidoo, first published and performed in 1965. It is notable for being one of the first plays written by an African woman to gain international recognition. The play explores clashing cultures, generational conflict, and the struggle for identity through the story of a young Ghanaian man, Otto Yasin, and his African-American wife, Eulala Rush. The play is set in post-independence Ghana, at a time when the country is grappling with the aftermath of colonialism and the complexities of modernity. Otto has just returned home from the United States after studying abroad. Unknown to his family, he brings with him his new wife, Eulala, a Black American woman of Caribbean descent. Otto's family, particularly his mother, S.C. Com, is shocked by his choice of bride. They had expected him to marry a Ghanaian woman and are further dismayed when Eulala, a modern, outspoken, and culturally different woman, fails to meet their traditional expectations. She drinks wine, speaks no Ghanaian language, questions traditional roles, and is unable to adjust to the patriarchal and communal structure of Otto's family. Tensions soon rise. The family criticizes Eulala for her behavior, while Eulala feels alienated and misunderstood. At the heart of the conflict is the issue of childbearing. Otto's family wants grandchildren immediately, in line with their cultural expectations. Eulala, however, wants to wait and decide when she is ready. Otto, caught between the demands of his family and the values of his wife, becomes increasingly confused and distant. The title of the play refers to an Akan folktale in which a ghost, returning home, is unable to decide whether to go forward or back, a metaphor for Otto's psychological state. He is trapped between two worlds, unable to fully commit to either. In the end, the play offers no simple resolution, but suggests the need for dialogue, compromise, and mutual understanding. Analysis. 1. Cultural conflict and hybridity. The central theme of The Dilemma of a Ghost is the clash between African and Western cultures. Otto, educated in the West, embodies a hybrid identity. While he shares many of his family's traditional values, he also adopts Western attitudes toward individualism, privacy, and gender roles. His marriage to Eulala is a symbol of this cultural mixing, but also of the tensions it produces. Eulala, as an African-American woman, represents a diasporic return to Africa, a symbolic homecoming. However, her reception is not warm or welcoming. She finds herself rejected and judged, not because of her race, but because of her lack of cultural belonging. She is African by descent but alien in practice. Aidoo uses this to critique both idealized Pan-Africanism, which assumes all Black people will naturally connect, and the rigid traditionalism that resists change. The play challenges the notion that cultural identity is fixed, showing instead that identity is complex, dynamic, and negotiated. 2. Postcolonial identity and the ghost metaphor. The ghost in the title symbolizes dislocation, indecision, and liminality. Otto is like the ghost of the folktale. He cannot move forward with his wife, nor backward to the comfort of tradition. He is a man caught between worlds, emblematic of many post-colonial African elites educated abroad but alienated at home. This metaphor also reflects the broader post-colonial condition, a society haunted by colonial history, unsure how to reconcile modernity with tradition. Aidoo is not condemning one side over the other but emphasizing the emotional and social costs of unresolved tensions. Otto's failure to mediate between Eulala and his family leads to personal and collective suffering. The play suggests that for post-colonial societies to move forward, they must confront their dilemmas honestly, not repress or romanticize them. 3. Feminism and gender roles. One of Aidoo's most groundbreaking contributions in the play is her exploration of women's roles in both African and Western societies. Eulala is an independent woman who expects equality in her marriage. Her decision to delay childbirth, her open drinking of wine, and her assertiveness challenge the traditional expectations of women in Otto's family. The Ghanaian women, particularly SC Com and Otto's aunties, represent communal female power. They are not submissive, rather, they are vocal, influential, and central to family life. However, their power is tied to tradition and often reinforces patriarchal norms, especially regarding fertility and family structure. Aidoo presents both forms of womanhood critically and sympathetically. Eulala's individualism is lonely and isolating in a communal culture, while the traditional women's values can be oppressive to someone like her. The play thus raises important feminist questions. Can different models of womanhood coexist? Can tradition and progress be reconciled without silencing women's voices? 4. Language, communication, and misunderstanding. Throughout the play, language barriers and cultural misunderstandings contribute to the conflict. Eulala does not speak Otto's language, and even when translated, her behavior and intentions are misinterpreted. The family sees her actions through a traditional lens, while she interprets their customs as controlling or backward. Aidoo uses these miscommunications to highlight the limits of cross-cultural understanding. Goodwill alone is not enough. What's needed is listening, humility, and genuine dialogue. This theme also reflects the challenge of intercultural marriages and diaspora home relations, where people of shared ancestry may no longer share the same values or assumptions. 5. Structure and style. Aidoo blends Western dramatic structure with African storytelling traditions. The play includes proverbs, songs, and folktales, particularly the tale of the ghost, which serves as a framing device and thematic anchor. The use of chorus-like group scenes, the women of the family, the elders, gives the play a ritualistic and communal feel, emphasizing that the conflict is not just personal but social. Aidoo's dialogue is sharp, layered with cultural meaning, and rich in oral tradition. Her use of irony, humor, and shifting perspectives makes the play both accessible and profound. Conclusion. The Dilemma of a Ghost is a pioneering work that tackles identity, culture, gender, and postcolonial struggle with nuance and empathy. Ama-Ata Aidoo offers no easy answers, but instead portrays the pain, confusion, and possibility that arise when worlds collide. Through the story of Otto and Eulala, Aidoo explores the costs of miscommunication, cultural rigidity, and unspoken expectations. Yet she also hints at the potential for reconciliation and growth, if people are willing to face their dilemmas honestly. As one of the earliest African feminist playwrights, Aidoo centers women's experiences in both traditional and modern contexts, challenging stereotypes and demanding space for diverse voices. Her play remains a landmark in African literature, a profound meditation on the ghosts of the past and the choices of the present.